Hey guys, for the past like 3 days, I've been on YouTube constantly looking up people's tattoo videos, which I'm sure there's a crowd, like a tattoo crowd, that probably does the exact same thing. So I thought, why not, tell you about my tattoos, and I'm planning on getting a bunch more, but for now, I'll just tell you what I have, and I only have two, which is kind of sad because I really want more, really badly. So, the first one that I ever got, I was 17, and I got my mom's permission to get one. And originally, that I actually was gonna wait, but then I just was not in spur of the moment, but just more. I was just ready to get one, if that makes sense. I'm sure other people agree. So originally I had this idea that I got off, not Google Images, but just examples. And what it is, it's a bird cage with birds flying out of it. So I kind of had this idea of this Victorian brooch to be around the cage and then birds flying out. And so I went, at the time we had a tattoo shop in town, and I went there because apparently one of the guys was really good, and he is. And so I went to him and I showed him what I wanted, and so he said, okay, come back next week and then we'll do it. So I was really pumped, and then the day came and I was nervous, but I was really excited. And so when I got there, he asked me, where are you placing this? And originally I wanted it to be at the back of my neck, sort of low, and he said, no, we can't do that because it's gonna be really big, and I didn't want anything super big the first time. So I was like, okay. So the only other place that I really wanted to get it was on my ribs, and that's what I ended up doing. But he said the ribs are like really sensitive for most people, especially if it's their first tattoo, and he didn't recommend it. But I said, nope, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna stick through it and do it. So what happened next was that he saw the brooch, because the brooch wasn't actually a tattoo, it was actually just like a necklace. And he said it would have to be like this big to actually get in all the detail, and I was like, hey, I don't want that. That's not exactly what I had planned. So what I ended up doing for the next hour was going on Google Images to actually look up silhouettes of birds and of cages to actually figure out what I wanted. So it's, in that sense, it's actually completely original, but I had to pick it right then and there. So what it ended up being was this, and this just black and white, but that cage with the three birds. And for pain tolerance, I wouldn't say, or pain tolerance, for the pain, I wouldn't say it was that bad, actually. When he did this first line on, I was like, oh, that's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. And it took about 45 minutes with a break in between. And just a heads up, if you're ever getting a tattoo, bring some orange juice with you and eat way before. I had eaten food, but I guess it had just digested through, and my blood sugar was really low, so thank God I actually got an orange juice before I went there. And so I sipped on that because I was feeling kind of faint, which is not good. You don't want to pass out. So yeah, so then my second tattoo, oh, and this one cost me, I think, about $130, $135, which I thought was pretty reasonable. And so my second tattoo I got like a week after I turned 18. And I was just really excited because now I can actually go in and get tattoos without having my parents' approval. So what I knew I wanted something for the longest time, and during that time I was convinced that I wanted to get a peacock feather, but my boyfriend he was like, I don't know, peacock feather, really, Sarah? So I mean, I wasn't completely disappointed, because at the same time I think I didn't really want it as much as I thought I did. So I actually had other pictures of feather tattoos that I really liked. And I showed him one. He's like, yeah, I like that better. So I'm like, okay. And once I started looking at it, I was like, yeah, I actually really like that. So I went in, booked my consultation before I had turned 18, and then the following week I had turned 18, like the next day or something. And I got a feather tattoo on my left foot, and I don't know if you can see it, but it's right there. And that one was at a different tattoo place. That was in the city, right downtown. And it's a place that my friend went and got her tattoos, and her boyfriend's mom gets her tattoos there. So I went there, and that one I think was probably 115, which is a bit much, but they're supposed to, well, they're not supposed to. They are like a really well-known place, and they are right downtown in the city. So because of that, I mean, I was expecting it to be a bit more, but I'm really happy with it. Originally, I did want it to be like only about an inch tall, and whenever my tattoo artist, she came out and she showed me a little, like, her sketch of what she was just going to show me. So, like, are you okay with this? And she actually had it much bigger. She had it probably about that big. And I was like, can you make it a bit smaller? She's like, okay, no problem. So she made it a bit smaller, went into the room, and you had to lay down really awkwardly because your foot has to be, like, right on the table. And so when she first put the stencil on, it actually it was no, it was a bit too high, and I was just like, oh, I don't really like what that is. So what I liked is that she's like, okay, no problem, we'll just wipe that off and then put it slightly lower, and it curves more with my ankle. Because actually, I mean, it's hard to show you, but like if I put my foot flat, it's kind of like this. But if I, kind of bend my foot, it gets smaller, but you can't really tell that it's that compact. So yeah, I'm rambling on. But anyways, so the pain tolerance, I said this one out of 10, this one was probably like a 5. I mean, it didn't hurt that much, but it was still like, it was painful, but it wasn't unbearable. And I didn't I didn't even say like, ow, that hurts or anything. It was just, alright, uncomfortable, but gonna deal with it. And I didn't see the needle either, so that was kind of nice. And with this one, I actually, because everybody was scaring me, they're like, oh, right there, that's going to really hurt, because it's really tender. I'm like, oh crap, I better prepare myself. So I got numbing cream, and I put it on about like 45 minutes before my appointment. And then when she started, I was like, oh, thank God I put this on, because you could barely feel it. And then there was parts that didn't have the numbing cream. Especially like the edges of the feather, those were like moments where I'd kind of like do this, I'd cringe up because it was a little painful. So this one was more painful than this one, I would say. The most painful thing on here is that like in the right here in the little cage, the wire inside has white dots, and when he did that, it hurt, I think, a bit more because it was already a place that had been tattooed. So it just hurt kind of going back over to it. So I don't know if I think I covered everything. I know that I'm booking an appointment like within the next week or so to get, I think, 2 more tattoos. And I don't know if anybody else has the same problem, but I know what I want, and I know that I'll love it, because once I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go get it, then I'm set. But placing it is the worst, because for now I don't really want anything on my arms or like anywhere that you can see it, just because I'm just not ready to do that yet. And I don't want it on the back of my neck. I used to for the longest time, but now I don't want it. And I don't really want anything on my legs or either, so I'm kind of restricted. But I think what I'm going to do is put them one on my other rib cage and one on my other foot. So yeah, that's my tattoo story. I know there's piercing tags as well, and I have 5, so it's not like a big deal. I just have cartilage, and then 3 on this side, and then 2 on this side, so not a really big deal. So yeah, thanks for watching. Bye!